On previous videos, we've discussed the censorship that's going on around the world, including here in the United States, from anime to pornography, uh, putting on content warnings on old movies. Basically, you've had people put on, perfect example, a 5-minute video before the opening of Gone with the Wind to explain Gone with the Wind. I talk to people in many chat rooms. Some of them are my friends, some are friends, and I've always explained the past is the past. If the movie is a good movie, stop picking at it for things that you deem it to be racist, to be sexist, to be all the above, all those buzzwords, because you always hear, that we need inclusion and equity made for the modern era. We need to break the glass ceiling. But the thing about it is, all those things that they talk about, especially the glass ceiling, where they say, well, there's not enough women in the industry, there's not enough minorities in the industry. It's always been there. People just push things that basically have been done for many years, and they think that it's not enough. But the thing about it is, sometimes some subject matters or some stories or characters that basically shouldn't be changed, should not be pushed upon, because that's not what people are looking for. They're looking for good stories. Now, the other half of this is that
get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
there are those in other countries that are starting to ban things, not only the videos, the streaming sites themselves. Now they're trying to ban the merchandise. Now, we've seen this in Australia, where they've banned anime figures, manga books, the sale of it. And they call it like child P and this and that. It's a whole situation on that. Now, the other half is that there are certain things that are what they call costumes. And you've seen this in the fan at comic book conventions, San Diego Comic-Con and other on the Anime Matsui and stuff like that, that there's certain costumes that male, and I'll say this, both male and female, because basically the criticism is always on the female end. But when a guy wears a certain costume that's a bit revealing, nobody has any problems with that. They have no problems at all with that. And then we heard this back about over a week ago. UK campaign seeks to censor school uniform costumes.
This is outrageous. This is an outrage.
Hello, 911? No, I ain't calling a snitch. I got a real emergency. Yeah, I hope.
I'm going to read this off of XBiz. A student group at a private Manchester secondary school for girls has launched a petition demanding the government's censorship of school uniform costumes in sex shops and pornography. The online petition by students involved in a feminist study group at a single-gender, high-tuition Sandbach High School near Manchester has now gained more than 13,000 signatures, meaning it has surpassed the requirement to receive government response. Victoria Mann of Canada's public broadcaster CBC News reported on this past Monday. The report noted, however, that amid the chaos of the Prime Minister Boris Johnson's resignation and a total reshuffle of the Conservative Party, no response has come within the usual 14 days. The feminist group was formed in 2012 by Sandbach's High teacher Sarah Mali. Each year, according to the CBC, Mali encourages her students to select women's rights issue to focus on ranging from human trafficking to genital mutilation. Mann interviewed uniform history researcher Kate Stephenson, who noted that enforcing satirical rules are actually about making sure everyone looks the same and removing those items that indicate that some children have more money than others. The Sandbach students who authored the petition told CBC News that they have been repeatedly asked whether removing uniforms from schools altogether might improve the situation. A line of thinking that condemned as victim blaming. Malley added that the intent behind the target sex shops is not to tell consenting adults what they can and cannot do in the bedroom, but to highlight the inappropriate way costumes are marketed. Malley said she would like the government to target censorship the specific language that applies to these costumes, citing an example phrases of sexy schoolgirl lingerie. See, they mentioned censorship. See, the thing is, these are costumes. And even on this side of the world, you've seen a ban censorship on police uniforms, sexy Indians, so on and so on and so on. For them to get rid of the school uniform, as one person wants to do, is ridiculous. I wore school uniforms in my time. You know, you kept to a school, even when I was in high school. We didn't wear uniforms, but we had to wear certain things. It's kept on to there. There was nobody wearing high-end designer stuff. Today, the kids are wearing high-end designer stuff, and they got to be taught. You know, that shouldn't be part of your life. You know, you wear clothes, and it's clothes. You know, you want to wear some cool stuff when you're an adult? Okay, fine. You can afford it? That's fine. The other half of this is that basically from the adult industry, you have people who fantasizes themselves to be Girl Scouts and schoolgirls and stuff like that, but that's an adult to an adult. Now they could say, well, you know, it's the P to the E to the D to the O. Yeah, but you know, having an adult costume, okay? Let's put it in this perspective. Having an adult costume is not what a P to the E to the D to the O is looking for. They're looking for a child, okay? The costume doesn't encourage them at an adult level. It is a child in the costume that does that, and it doesn't matter what they wear, whatever clothing they wear, whatever swimsuit they wear. It's, you know, it's going to stimulate these crazy fucking nuts. Doesn't matter. Yes, there are adult videos where they do schoolgirl and scouts and girls who are over the age of 18 playing younger girls. Yeah, you know, some people say, well, it's a fine line. It's a fantasy. Now, whether you believe it's right or wrong, you know, that's your opinion. Long as it's two consenting adults and not a child involved. You know, we heard the stories with one of the adult stars that's going on trial now, that she's filming stuff with children, which that's appalling. That's disgusting. These, you know, and they say this is a feminist group, you know, and that they're basically looking at human trafficking and genital mutilation, which they should concentrate on that. They should. I've heard the stories of the genital mutilation from people whose families that they lived in that part of the world, and it is a disgusting thing that they do. There are I think there's a Law and Order episode that happened in. You know, and of course, human trafficking, that is a big thing. But see, the thing about it is you have teachers in these schools that are trying to promote activism, the wrong type of activism. Stuff that's pushing stuff that basically they want to censor this. You know, when they look at this and they say the school uniform, you might like say, well, that's nothing. But they started somewhere. See, the thing is that they'll say, well, you know, this promotes child P. And then they start to move on, and they start to move. And you've seen this. How many times have you heard a story or out of this channel that anime has been said that they're promoting child P? How many mangas and stuff like that, which is false. Yes, there are creepy videos that are created out there. Yes, they should be removed. Cuties happens to be one. They're okay with cuties, but they're not okay with the anime on there. See, this is the censorship and the control that they want to do. And it's been happening all over the world. And the thing about it is, and then we say, this is the revolution we're at now. Be a part of it. Fight back against this. You know, because they basically say, well, let's get rid of this, let's get rid of that, and it will resolve all the problems in the world. No, it won't. No, it won't. It'll just open up to other problems. And those problems will be bigger, and you'll start to push upon those, and you'll create more censorship and more bans and not get to the root of the problem. To get to legislate to take care of these mentally unstable people. We've seen the videos out there. We've seen the videos out there that are trying to push that basically they want to add this to part of the LGBTQ community of the P to the E to the D to the O. If you haven't heard that TED Talk video, they're trying to push that and promote that it's okay because basically that they have feelings. These are people who are sick and they need to be attended to. You know, they've been praising criminals, they're praising sycophants, terrorists. These are the situations you as a viewer have to understand. The reason why in this country we are the way we are for many decades, and we're talking the Constitution and stuff like that. So things like this, when it does happen, we're able to legislate and help to resolve these issues and make sure that we do not remove freedoms from others. Because that's what happens, and that's what they're trying to do, is they're trying to restrict your freedoms by disguising it as racism, as P to the E to the D to the O, and many other offenses on there, fascism, made for the modern era, you know, and I say that, you know, and I yell that out on there because that's what they want to do. They say, well, we can't have this movie because it was from a time period that basically was evil. Have you watched the movie? Have you read the book? People are not educated like it used to be. They're spewing out stupidity. You know, I heard the other day someone saying that they were trying to put out a food product, and they were saying, what does the FDA have to do with food? They say they handle drugs. I'm not selling a pharmaceutical item. I said, well, there's the F in the FDA, which is Food and Drugs Administration. See, that's how uneducated a lot of people are these days. And they use that uneducation to scare people into believing what they want to believe. And that leads to communism, socialism, everything of the above. That's why you got to stick to this fight. When you hear stories like this, censor school uniforms. Why? It's a costume. It's a uniform. Why? Has it harmed you? Has it harmed anybody else? No. So, comment as you please below. Let me know how you feel about this. Subscribe, like, share, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you for tuning in, and bye-bye now.